Alrighty, folks, it is Saturday morning. It is Saturday morning before we give the one rental at a time presentation at WealthCon. What I wanted to do for my audience is share with you my final dry run. Yes, folks, I have practiced this presentation probably 25 times, and I want to do one last time for you. This presentation will go live on my YouTube channel after WealthCon is over. I hope you appreciate it. Let me go ahead and bring up the slides and we will just get into character. Okay. Hopefully you can see that now. Alrighty, folks. And we are going to officially start the clock. Yay! Hey, folks. My name is Michael Zuber from One Rental at a Time. I want to thank Ryan Pineda and team for giving me an opportunity to speak with you today. But first, before we get started, I am going to talk about how to do legendary things, but you and I need to get on the same page. So if you don't mind, I need some audience participation. When I talk about legendary athletes, who do you all think about? Go ahead, shout out some names. Who you think about? Folks, if you're watching this online, do me a favor, play with me. Leave comments below. Who are professional athletes that you think about? Go ahead and list 2 or 3 names right now. Alrighty, folks, thank you very much for playing with me. Next up, when I say legendary investors, who do you think of? Again, folks, if you're watching online on my YouTube channel, please play along. Leave comments below. Who are legendary investors that you know? And folks, finally, we're going to do one more and one more only. How about legendary YouTubers? Who are some legendary YouTubers that you know, people doing it right, doing the right way, doing it big? Who are the legendary YouTubes? Go ahead, shout out the names. Again, if you're watching online, leave comments below. Alrighty, folks, you're amazing. When you talk about legendary athletes, legendary investors, and legendary YouTubers, I think you got them right. So congratulations. We are on the same page. We can move forward. Again, folks, my goal for the next 25 minutes is really simple. And that is, folks, I want to change your life. Folks, how many of you just tuned out? We're talking about doing legendary things. Some guy you have never met is talking about changing your life. He's got 25 minutes to do it. How many of you think that is impossible? Well, if I was in the audience, I might tend to agree with you. But you know what? That it won't stop me. I am broken. I am going to try to change your life in the next 25 minutes. And one of the things that I want to say right here, right now, and I likely will say again, is I believe all of you, each and every one of you, if you decide to do what we're going to talk about here, can accomplish legendary things. Now, folks, I've had the privilege to research legendary folks for the last 30 years. Books, biographies, presentations. I've consumed it all, or at least all that I could find, all that interests me. Whether it's a biography about an athlete, an investor, talking with YouTubers. What we're going to find is the secret to being legend or legendary. It's not that hard. It's out there. All of you can take these and move forward. Alrighty, folks, let me just talk about a few legendary things that I have done. Now, I'm not trying to say these things are on the scale of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Mr. Beast, Warren Buffett, but they are legendary things that I did in my life. Let's talk about the W-2 employees. Who out there has a W-2 job? I was one of you. I had a W-2 job. I was raised to go to school, get a good job, climb the corporate ladder. One of the things I did starting at about age 30 is I figured out that I didn't want to climb the corporate ladder. All the people above me had lives that I didn't want. So I started focusing on what I could control and what I can do. And the first thing I did is I found that I had a unique ability to straddle the line between sales, marketing, and strategy. I got myself attached to a team or a product that had a goal of growing to 100 million. Now, again, remember at this time, I'm just an employee. I'm a nobody. But what I do during this journey from 0 to 100 million is I document the entire journey. What worked, what didn't work, what we tried. I looked at variables. I looked at metrics. I had it all. Lo and behold, the team got the number to 100 million after 3 years, maybe 3.5. At that point, I was recruited to another software organization because I had the history. I had the experience. I had documentation about what strategy worked and didn't work, install base, new market, SMB, enterprise. I had it all. And you know what, folks, when I was recruited to that second organization, I was paid much better. In fact, my comp went up almost 100%. I was the leader. I was the man. Lo and behold, I took this product again from 0 to 100 million. I did the same things. I documented who worked on the team, what worked, what strategies, how did customer service and marketing and all these other things play together. I got better. I understood more. And then, folks, I was recruited one final time to another software organization, this time to take a product that was literally an idea. It was on a whiteboard and said, do you think you could turn this into 100 million? And I said, yeah, if you gave me 3 years, I could. And folks, I'm happy to report, as a senior leader whose comp went up one more time, we were able to take that product to 0 to 100 million in exactly 36 months. So again, you can become legendary at your chosen job. In fact, I would highly recommend it. If you want to get on the journey to financial freedom and you are an employee like me, become the best employee you can be. You will be rewarded. And of course, folks, don't be afraid to change jobs. If you stay at the same place, you get 3, 4, 5% bumps, maybe. If you change jobs, you can get 10, 15, 20. And in my case, 80 and 100% bumps. All right, folks, let's talk about what you might be interested in here. Maybe if you're a real estate investor, how many of you want private money? Well, folks, we have successfully raised over $10 million over the last 20 years. And the real interesting part of this is we never, and I mean this, never asked for a dollar. In fact, folks, much like my first step here, we documented the process. We were starting to buy real estate at a deep discount in 2009 and 10. I created a website called wealthbuildingpro.com. It no longer exists, but I have found that some of you out there, there's an archive that you can go look at what I did. We wrote articles, we wrote blog posts, we talked about the house, what fixes, what the numbers were. Again, this was just text and pictures. But lo and behold, you document that 3, 4, 5, 6 times. You document the learning. People reach out to you, say, I see what you're doing there. I want to be a part of it. I've got some money on the sidelines. What can you pay me? So the first time we were doing private money, we were buy and hold investors. So we paid 12% and they funded the entire purchase and it's still cash flow. Now, of course, when money got cheaper and we had access, we refied it and cash flow exploded. Then in 2018, after we retired, I had the opportunity to take on another passion project. I wanted to take some slumlord properties that were in my market of Fresno, California, and turn them into pride of ownership. Again, this was something that I documented, this time not on blog, but on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel called One Rental at a Time, and some of the very early videos from 18, 19 were me walking disgusting properties, showing you mid-project, talking to GCs, and showing you end products. And folks, we always talk numbers. Lo and behold, simply doing that on YouTube allowed us to raise millions of dollars. This time, though, folks, these were flips. And frankly, I didn't want to pay 12%. So this time we created a brand new program called 6 and 20. What was that? We paid 6% interest monthly during the project. So again, these weren't rented. These were full gut rehabs that could take 3, 4, 5 months. And then what we did on the opposite side is when it sold, we gave them 20% of the project. Again, 100% financing. So when there was profit made, we got 80% and they got 20 minus, and they got their interest, obviously. But again, folks, this allowed us to take projects and keep rolling and raise millions of dollars. And ultimately, as you'll see in a minute, allowed us to flip 56 properties. Folks, at the end of the day, if you want to raise private money, it's very simple. What we did, we offered above market return. We documented what we were doing, the good, the bad, and the ugly. People saw it. We were rigorous. We talked about it. And then, frankly, we just did what we said we were going to do. Everybody got paid every month. Everybody got their profit. No one lost anything. Now, in this case, we've made money on everything we did, but if we would have lost money, we would have paid them back. They were not risking anything with us. That is that easy. Document what you're learning. Offer above market return, and then do what you say you're going to do. All right, folks, how about growing a portfolio to 180 units? I don't know about you, but I hear a lot of people out there in the world talking about, I own 100, 200, 1,000, 2,000, where in reality, they own 1%. 2%. Folks, that's not what we're talking about here. These are units that my wife and I, Olivia, who's in the back of the room, own. We built these one rental at a time, started with houses, moved to apartments, moved back to houses. We buy what the best deal is. Again, this portfolio was grown over 20 years, one rental at a time. And again, if you remember, and you could do the math on 20 years, that means we started before the Great Recession. Folks, we had 8 houses right on the cusp of the Great Recession. We went to an event just like this one. We were in the back of the room. And there's a guy on stage that changed our life. Bruce Norris said, California is going to crash. And it caught my attention. But again, he's a guy on stage. How am I going to believe that? So I go back and research what he said, and he was right. Again, a meeting like this changed our lives. We sold or 1031 all of those houses and moved them into apartment buildings. Again, folks, this portfolio is in a city that we don't live in, frankly, never lived in. In fact, 22 years later, I have spent one night in the city, one overnight. 20 minutes a day, buy box, focus, daily discipline. This is important stuff. Are you seeing a trend? Again, this is in California, out of area. No partners, while working full time. All right, so in 2018, I finally retire. I'm bored. I go to Fresno all the time. I start to see some slumlord properties that I think need some love and attention. We buy a couple right away. And of course, what do? As I said earlier, we document the process on my YouTube channel, one rental at a time. We do walkthroughs. We use the cell phone. We don't have any fancy equipment. We talk about numbers, and lo and behold, people want to give us money and use the 6 and 20 program. None of our own capital, 100% financed. This allowed us to keep doing project, run multiple teams, and again, never made less than $20,000 across the 56 flips, and many of those made much, much more. Other fun fact about these 56 project is I only ever walked through, I think, 5 or 6. I had my team start to do videos. If you go back to my early channel and see some of these videos, other folks on my team are recording them, Adam or Jason or others. And then how about a YouTube channel? How many of you are here because you want to be better at social media? You are in the right place. Again, folks, I was able to grow one rental at a time, YouTube channel to 58,000 subs. We have over 16.7 million views. I need to get the watch hours. But I did it in a very interesting way. First and foremost, how many of you are scared to death of YouTube because you don't know how to edit videos or you don't have the money to pay an editor? Great news. I don't edit videos. If you go back and look at my channel, they're all just the way they are. No fancy editing, just raw. How about fancy equipment? How many of you are concerned about dropping $2,000, $4,000, $6,000, $10,000 on equipment? Well, good news, folks. I did over 1,000 videos on my phone with a wired $20 microphone. In fact, today, folks, even after doing or having 58,000 subs, I think it is so important for me to show you that all you need is your phone. I still do one video a week, or one video a day, excuse me, on my phone. It is called the Daily Financial News. It goes off at 7:30 a.m. Pacific, Sunday through Thursday. It's about a 15-minute talk about what's going on in the financial market. It is done from my phone with a wired mic, and it is done live. You can count on it. I have hundreds of people that show up every morning. Again, folks, you don't need fancy equipment. You don't need to edit videos. You need to get started. And if you are here around social media, you are here because you know Ryan can help you. And then finally, let's talk about building a brand. How many of you want to build a brand? How many of you want to become a brand? Well, folks, again, I created a 7-figure brand by accident, but it wasn't easy. In fact, my way is not the way to do it. Don't follow what I did. What do I mean by that? Well, folks, again, remember, I'm fortunate enough to have built a portfolio. I retired at 45. I had a passion to give back. So what did I do? I went ahead and started creating videos. I started writing a book. I started putting all of my effort into this thing that would become one rental at a time. And you know how much money I made the first year? About $1,200. Do you know how many videos I created the first year? over 1,000. Now, folks, not many people would have the fortitude or, frankly, the financial backing to create 1,000 videos in a year and make $1,200. This is why you will see, in order to become a legend, one of the things you're going to have to do is model other successful folks. Again, like Ryan Pineda in the YouTube world and many others. So again, folks, these are just a taste of some of the things that I've done legendary. I'm not trying to say these things are on the scale of Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or Mr. Beast. But in my life, these were legendary and life-changing. So again, folks, as I said earlier, and likely will say again, I believe all of you can accomplish legendary things in whatever you choose to focus on. Alrighty, folks, again, as I said earlier, there are only 3 steps to accomplish legendary things. You ready? You sure? All right. Again, remember, folks, I'm going to probably make you uncomfortable. I'm going to say things on purpose to shake you up. I'm going to say things that maybe offend you, maybe scare you. I don't do those to be mean. I do those to wake you up. A lot of us are comfortable. A lot of us say we want to do legendary things, but frankly, we'd rather be comfortable. And let's be clear, there's nothing wrong with being comfortable. But don't stand here and tell me you want to be a legendary real estate investor, a legendary entrepreneur, a legendary YouTuber without doing these 3 things. It is frankly disrespectful. If you want to become a famous YouTuber and you don't do the work, it is disrespectful to Mr. Beast, who spent years honing his craft. Again, don't come to me and tell me about being a legendary buy and hold investor without doing the work. Folks, you can do it. I believe in you. But do you believe in yourself? All righty, folks, let's get into the 3 things. Number 1, you need to fire your friends. I know it's hard, but if you want to do legendary things, there's a very good chance your friends don't want to do legendary things. Maybe you have one. Folks, you're in this room today. I'm curious, anybody here with their best friend? If you are, congratulations. You're the lucky ones. Most of you have 5 friends that probably made fun of you. You're not going to be able to spend a lot of time with them. If you're going on this path and this legendary journey of doing whatever you decide to do, you're going to have to cut them out at least some level. They just can't be in the boat with you. You can't go on the path to legendary things with people that are going to throw stones and talk down. It's just not possible. You will start and then you will stop. And that will be a complete failure. And folks, when I talk about legendary friends, I also am very clear. I'm also talking about your social media. How many of you look at your social media, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, and you watch Crash Bros or Doom channels or channels that are trying to scare you on purpose? Folks, if you want to become legendary, you need to cut those out. Not only cut them out, you need to block them. Your social media feed needs to be positive, energetic. You need to feel uplifted. It can't be a place that drains the battery, that makes it hard to keep going, because becoming legendary is hard, but it is possible. And again, I believe in you. You need to get in the rooms. You need to get in new rooms and new groups. And again, block doomers on social media. Folks, congratulations for coming here the last couple of days, but it doesn't stop here. If you're going to go on this legendary journey, it's going to take years, and you're going to need to stay in rooms. You're going to need to get in new rooms that belong to new groups and get around people that can help you grow. Lessons learned where you can share the struggle, and they will go, I got you. I've been there. Let me tell you. You don't need people that say, I told you so. I knew you couldn't do it. You don't need that garbage. Get in new rooms and new groups. If you are in this room today and you don't make 2 new friends, shame on you. In fact, if I was in this room today and getting started, I would want to make at least 5 new friends. 5. Take that as a personal challenge. This is the beginning of day 2. You've only got about another 8 or so hours to go. Make sure you get 5 new friends. And again, please pull up your social media. And if you see doom, fear, envy, greed, block, 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 you need to take care of those algorithms. You need to seek out others who have done what you've done. Again, this is a mistake of mine. Yes, we grew a portfolio to 180 units, but again, plenty of mistakes. In fact, when we started, I wasted a year. No lie, a year. Every Sunday, 52 weeks, I was looking in the wrong market. The market I was looking in was too expensive. If I had people around me, perhaps like Ryan Pineda or other real estate experts, they could have told me, okay, great, time to move on, time to move on. In fact, if we would have moved on 6 months earlier, we would be bigger today. How about social media? Again, I already admitted earlier in growing a YouTube channel that I did over 1,000 videos before being monetized. That's wild. Who does that? Nobody does that. You need to get around people that know what they're doing, that understand thumbnails and words, but also don't overcomplicate it. If I had the choice between perfect and what I did, I would choose what I did every time. Perfect is an illusion. You just need to get a little bit better, and nothing gets better like repetition. Again, if you want to get started buy and hold, the best thing to do is get a buy box, understand what the variables are, look at your buy box each and every day. A couple more steps in step one, but we're almost done. You need to become hyper focused. In fact, folks, you will become unbalanced. I have never met anyone who achieved legendary status that wasn't unbalanced. We only have 24 hours a day. Remember what Ryan Pineda said with those dots? We only have so many dots. We only have so many times that we're not eating or sleeping or working. You can't become a legend at lots of things at the same time. Can you become a legendary pianist, basketball player while learning French? No. Go on. Become a legend at that and then move on to something else. You need to stop chasing multiple things. I don't know what to tell you. This whole 7 streams income and, 5 difference of that and 3s of this, it's just all nonsense. If you want to earn legendary status, not just be okay at something, you need to go all in. You need to declare it. It needs to become your thing and your thing for a while. You need to execute and commit to it daily. Again, folks, when I talk about building a portfolio of 180 units, what did we do? We set up a buy box. We set up 93703, 3 or 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage, between 1,200 and 2,000 square feet. That's all I looked at. In 3 years, that's all we looked at. That means I didn't look at everything else. I didn't look at duplexes or quads or apartments. But damn it, if it was a 3 or 4 bedroom in the Mayfair district, I knew about it. And I knew if it was a good or a great deal. You've got to work on this every day. Folks, again, 3 years. That is 1,000 days. I looked at my buy box for 1,000 days in a row. Before I grew. Some of you come to me talking about becoming buy and hold investors in a market you don't know like I did. And you're like, I've looked at it 7 days. I got it. No, you don't. You don't got it. You got to keep going. You got to understand. You got to communicate. You got to network. You got to do all these things. Again, folks, at the end of step one, I want to remind you, a lot of you need to stop doing things. You need to stop chasing the latest shiny object. You need to stop chasing 7 streams of income. You need to stop chasing 5 different markets. You need to stop changing 3 different buying or marketing methods. Folks, 1. You're going to become legendary at 1 thing. Alrighty, folks, that is the end of step 1. We've got 2 more steps to go. You with me? Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, step 2. You need to create a list of activities that can be tracked and reported on. If I go back and think about when I had a W-2 employee and I was creating go-to-market strategies from 0 to 100 million, I was tracking activities, deal flow, leads, marketing, conversion. When I was looking to buy rentals, I had a buy box, what was listed, what was pending. When we were raising private money, we were writing articles and we were publishing on YouTube every other day. Again, you have to set activities and track and report on said activities. You need to establish metrics, targets. You can call them goals or quotas or whatever the heck you want them. I recommend daily. If daily is just too much for you, you can make them weekly, but nothing longer. I don't want to see monthly, quarterly, or yearly goals. Folks, if you are going to become a legend at something, it needs to happen daily and weekly. For example, how many phone calls did you make? How many emails did you send? How many new people did you meet? just keep at it, keep tracking, keep getting better, keep growing. Again, growth comes from being uncomfortable. You need to tell your friends, folks. Again, remember, you are in this room on purpose. You're not paid to be here. In fact, you paid to be here. You need to take that and you need to make sure there's a return on that investment. You need to find friends in this room that you will declare and tell them what your activities are. Tell them what the goals are. And then, folks, tell them when you're going to report on them. And folks, you need to report on them weekly, nothing less. In fact, folks, I like to lead by example. If you follow me on One Rental at a Time, you will see me report my weekly goals every Sunday. I have a list of goals that I'm tracking. I have targets. I've been reporting on them every day or every week since January 1st. I think we're at 14 or 15 weeks, and I will report on them tomorrow. Again, I lead by example, just show you what is possible. Become a legend. You've got to have activities, goals, targets, and track performance. And again, folks, as it says, don't lie. Don't lie. I love this Kobe Bryant quote. Great things come from hard work and perseverance. No excuses. All righty, folks, we're on step 3. We are almost done. We are almost done with understanding the 3 steps to become a legend. First, I got to tell you, becoming a legend is not quick. I've never known anybody to become a legend in a minute, a day, a week, a month, a quarter, a year. Becoming a legend at anything will take years. In fact, understanding my buy box in Mayfair District, it took me 2 or 3 years to become a legend. It took us 15 years to build a portfolio of 180 units. It took me 5.5 years to get 58,000 subs, 16 million views. It takes time. Legendary things are accomplished by consistent daily execution. Atomic Habits, a great book. I think Ryan recommended it or talked about it the other day. You've got to keep the movement every day. You don't really notice those 1-degree improvements and better. But trust me, if you stay true to it, it will happen. In fact, folks, I would tell you not to look for the difference. Others will tell you when you are becoming a legend, when you know the market differently, when you have all the contacts and networks. The journey will repeatedly test you. It won't be easy. Folks, let me tell you about our first rental property. If you've read my book, One Rental at a Time, the story is there. If you haven't, I'll give you the nutshell. We buy 1818 North Stride East, 93703. It's our first purchase. We buy it for 107 grand. You can find it on Zillow if you would like. Unfortunately, we do everything right, meaning we put a tenant in, credit check, reference check, income verification, all of that. But unfortunately, they get a divorce. They get separated. And unfortunately, the husband who stays in the house does not enjoy this activity. He becomes a drunk. He becomes unemployed. And he decides to destroy our house because he is so upset. I live in California or invested in California, as we said. It takes me 3 months and $1,000 to get him out. This is in 2002, maybe 2003. What do I see when we go back into that house? Destruction. It tests you. In fact, I remember walking into that house and being ready to give up, quit. Thankfully, Olivia in the back of the room asked a very wise question. She asked, did we do anything wrong? And the answer was no. There's no box on a rental application about, are you going to get divorced and become a destructive drunk? That's not a question. But yet that happened to us. She asked that and she said, we didn't do anything wrong. Let's try one more time. Folks, Norris Drive never missed a payment. That Norris Drive became, as you will see, if you go on the Zillow and check it out, we sold it for $265 3 years later. That money was rolled into an apartment building that we still own today. That apartment building has several $100,000 in equity and spits out thousands of dollars in cash flow. All because of that first thing. And again, I was ready to give up. Shout out Olivia for making sure we didn't give up. And again, folks, positive progress compounds daily. Again, folks, I like this quote from Michael Jordan. You do the work, you get rewarded. There are no shortcuts in life. How many of you are trying to shortcut becoming a legend? How many people are you trying to jump the line? How many of you have some money and think you can jump the line? You can't. It takes work. It takes focus. Now, having money may give you access to other folks, which can help you, but you are still going to do the work. So in summary, You need to get new friends. Again, you are in this room on purpose. You paid to be here on purpose. You need to get a return on an investment on purpose. I strongly suggest you find some new friends. You need to stay in new rooms. Yes, folks, you've done yourself a service, but the energy from this day, these last 2 days will only last so long. You need to get in a community like this that will allow you to continue to grow, allow you to ask questions, allow you to share the heartache. There is nothing better than being in a community with like-minded individuals, some above you and some below you. You can help the people below you, and the people above you will help you. It's a very symbiotic relationship. Please get new friends and get in new rooms. You need to seek out others and role model them. Folks, if you are in this room, again, it is very obvious that there is something that you saw, or several somethings that you saw in Ryan Pineda in The Wealthy Way. You're here on purpose. You need to figure out and role model the things that he has and he has shared. If it's social media or real estate or entrepreneurship or anything else. Again, something that I wish I had done at the beginning is role modeled other people. It would have accelerated our journey. It would have allowed us to save 6 months in the beginning of buying. It would have allowed my YouTube journey to be a lot easier. Not many people have the broken biology or psychology to keep going when times are hard. Folks, do it easier. Follow people and role model what they are saying. You need to focus and execute daily. This happens to be my superpower. I did not understand it was my superpower until after I retired. Again, whether I was a W-2 employee, raising money, growing a portfolio, you saw throughout all of that, I was documenting the journey. I was talking about what was working and not working. I was getting better. That ability to document ahead of time allowed me to get promoted, allowed me to make a lot more money, allowed us to grow a portfolio, allowed us to save our butts in the Great Recession because we sold all the houses at the peak and bought apartments. But again, folks, you need to focus and execute daily. Daily, not Saturday, not Sunday, daily. Again, folks, remember my buy box we looked at for 3 years. Again, for me, just really quick, 93703, 3 or 4 bedroom, 2 bath, 2-car garage, between 1,200 and 2,000 square feet. It's kind of boring, but that's the point. It's supposed to be boring. I became a legend at that zip code in that buy box. Again, folks, you're going to need to sit down and create some activities, targets, and track performance. Now, if you are following role models like Ryan Pineda and others, maybe they will help you do this. What should I do? How many posts? How many offers? How many phone calls? Folks, if you're working with a mentor or a legend that's doing what you've done, ask them for what the targets are and then do it. Folks, if you come to me and you ask me to set up a buy box and you do it, and then you only look at it for 7 days and you're like, there's nothing for sale, I don't know what to tell you. You're not listening. You're not doing the work. Again, I looked at my buy box for 1,000 days, 3 years in a row. You need to keep going. You need to track performance. And then lastly, folks, I want you to understand that you are going to enjoy the journey. It's going to be a journey. Becoming a legend is a journey. Becoming a legend takes time. I want you to enjoy it. I want you to just feel it. I want you to feel it each and every day that you are becoming a little bit better at whatever your chosen activity is. Alrighty, folks, I have a little bit of a bonus for you. Again, we are at the Wealthy Way. We are at WealthCon. I might as well talk about how to become wealthy. I think just like becoming a legend, there are only 3 things, and we're going to do this in one slide. Just like before, folks, where I believed you can do legendary things, I believe all of you can become wealthy. Folks, wealthy is very simple in my opinion. You need to have disposable income. What is disposable income? Think about how much you make, how much you keep after taxes, how much your fixed expenditures are. Then there's a number at the bottom of that you can light on fire, and you could do anything you want with it. You need more of that. Good news. There's only 3 ways to increase disposable income. You can make more money. You can cut expenses, or you can do both. Folks, it is that disposable income that will become the seeds that you plant that will become the wealth that you enjoy years to come. Step 2, you need to become elite at something. You need to become a legend at something. And then as becoming a legend, you need to buy assets. You need to buy assets with your disposable income. And then lastly, folks, you need to be ready to do this for 10 years. If you are truly going to become wealthy, in my opinion, it will take 10 years. You may do it sooner. There are others to become wealthy in 5 or 8 years, but I want you to sign up for 10 years. So if you do it in 5 or you do it in 8, you are happy. But hey, if it takes 10, it's okay. If you had to sacrifice and do all of this for 10 years and you can be like me and have the next 50 years to do whatever the heck you want, that is a pretty good trade. Well, folks, there you go. Again, I want you to be a legend. I believe you can in whatever you choose to do. I want you to be wealthy. Again, it is out there for you. My name is Michael Zuber, one Ritzel at a time. Enjoy the rest of the conference. All righty, folks. That is essentially the presentation that I will give in a couple of hours. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed it. Later.